battles unfold on the table. Let's expanse miniature warriors in a strategic dance. 15 millimeters of intricate design, a world conflict in a scaled down line. Terrain crafted with precision and care. Armies maneuver under watchful glare. Dice roll to decide the fate of the day. Strategies clash in a tactical display.
Hello again, everybody. This is Derek, and I'm coming back at you with another Wargaming and miniature video. And in today's video, I want to do a new series of what's in the box. My what's in the box is actually what's in the letter B, because I do bags, blisters, and boxes. So what's in the box? Well, this is a square fortified tower from Tabletop Workshop. Now I have built and constructed some Tabletop Workshop models. I've had some like barns and cottages and stuff like that. And they do a lot of medieval buildings. And this one, they had, this is a new model from their company. And it's a watchtower, or it can be a watchtower, a standalone watchtower, or it can be a castle tower. There's a lot of varieties, apparently. Now, of course, it's supplied unpainted. Looks like there's a lot of pieces in there. But let's go ahead and open this up and take a look. Now, this is not only a what's in the box, but it's also kind of a review of the product and like its quality, its workmanship. Now, as I've already mentioned, I have built some of their cottages and their barns and their inn and stuff like that, and I loved them. I loved them quite a bit. Okay, now the back of this paper has the instructions on how to assemble it. Okay, it doesn't look like it's going to be very hard. It looks like the pieces and the parts are all fairly what would you say? They're fairly self-explanatory. Okay, now, okay, I was wondering why they gave me 2 sets of these. Well, I'm starting to think that maybe it's the inside and outside of the crenellations. Okay, we've got a floor here with some stairs going down, solid walls, a nice looking door that I could put anywhere I want, it looks like, but it has like a little nubs on the bottom, so I'm not sure where I would put that. It kind of shows it at the bottom. There's another one. These two look like identical pieces. Okay. Well, it looks like a third one looks identical. And a fourth one looks identical. It's strange because you only have 2 walls, maybe a third wall. What did I say? There's 4 of these? There are 4. Okay. So 2 walls and 2 walls. And then the one with the arrow slit. And this looks like it would be... Okay, they make these little stair steps at the bottom. Which would show up right there. But it looks like you would have to, and with all these pieces being identical, it looks like you're going to have to cut or break, because they have these little areas that look like you could bend it and break it. Frame 1 is what that one's called. This one is called frame 1 as well. Okay, so they are all the same frame. And then this is probably frame 2. Yep, it says frame 2, and there's 2 of those. Okay, so really it's pretty straightforward. Now my question is, now do these walls have an interior? They do. They got interior walls, bricks on the inside and on the outside, so that when you assemble it, you're going to want to at least paint the inside. Now, if this floor is on multiple levels, and it is, it looks like you're going to use 1, 2, maybe 2 of these floors. And if that's the case, maybe 3, but it looks like 2. If you're going to use 2 of those floors, you're not going to see the inside at all, right? Oh, it's 3 floors. And they don't do a ground floor. A lot of the towers I've built in the past had a ground floor. And it looks like these little pieces here go on the inside of the bottom. Like you flip it over and you put them on the inside of the bottom. Okay, it does have a little note here. It says the Watchtower kit can become a modular castle tower by adding the square tower connectors purchased separately. This kit comes with 1 square tower compatible with castle items available from their range. The connector are these little square things here that when you build a wall, they would connect to the tower itself. And then you can also see they've got like a little door and stuff like that up there. I wouldn't build this if you were planning on making it part of a larger castle, because I think you need those connector items, which are actually built directly into the tower. Okay. I'd like to maybe assemble this and paint it and show you guys what it looks like when it's fully assembled and painted. I might do that in a separate video. Just as a brief summary before we get into some close-ups, so you can actually see the quality that you're getting with this. This is, first of all, it's a hard plastic, so you can use your plastic cement or super glue or what have you. You're getting 4 frames like this, and then these frames, they're gonna share parts, because like this wall right here, you're going to take 1 from each of the frames to make the 4 walls. So you're going to have 4 walls of this, 4 walls of this, and 4 walls of this. So your tower is going to be, you can see the top right there is the arrow slit section, and then you'll have 2 smaller sections on the bottom. You can almost see where it separates right there and right there. I think that if you don't glue it, if you leave it as just attached, you can snap it down into the next layer, because if you look at the floorboards, you got these little tabs that allow it to, when you got your wall sitting there, you've got these little sections here that you can just sit the wall on, or the part of the tower, and you could actually have a 3-section tower if you wanted to put figures in there, or if you felt like you wanted to role play in it, or if you wanted to have war games where you could like open the tower up and put guys inside. And one reason why that's pretty cool is on the inside, you're going to see tiled floors. You're going to see the inside of the brick walls, you know. So they do not only the outside, but also the inside. Now, the doors don't open. They don't work. They just glue onto the side of the tower. So they're just for aesthetics, but they don't actually open and close. And so you're going to get 4 of those for 3 levels of the tower. And then you're going to get the crenellations, the 4 sides of the crenellations. You get the inside and out. And you can see on the inside, we'll do some close-ups and you'll get a better chance to see this. They got pins or pegs and holes so that you can, when you put them together, they obviously go a specific way. And then you'll also notice that on one end you've got these little I don't know what you would call them, tabs, and they would go into these little slots. So when you it'll hold together nice and neat. And I'm very impressed with it. It's not a lot of plastic. I mean, it is a lot of plastic, but I mean, it's not a lot of pieces. They all look like they would go together super fast. I could probably build this in 15 minutes. And then painting it might be a little challenging. But then again, if you prime everything before you assemble it, like I'm thinking priming, this is my thought process. If you prime everything black before you assemble it, and then you assemble everything, the inside will be all black, right? And then you could just go in with a dry brush, and remember the three tower sections, 1, 2, 3, would all separate, and you'd be able to get into there pretty easily and just do a real quick gray dry brush, and you'd be pretty much done with it. I mean, there's nothing needed on the inside other than just a little dry brush. And then on the outside, you can just paint your door, and you could dry brush the entire thing gray. Yeah, maybe a dark gray initial, and then maybe a lighter gray highlight. Because that's pretty much what it looks like they've done here on this picture. Okay, so let me adjust the camera a little bit. We'll get in and we'll do a close-up. All right, so I went ahead and grabbed frame 2. It shows that it's produced by, I don't know, the glare. There it is, produced by SK Toolings Limited. Okay, pretty cool. And then on the center, it says, where's the center? Tabletop Workshop. And then at the very top, it says frame 2. All right, so let's take a look. Now, remember, 2 of these frames are going to be exactly the same. And we got these, the outside and the inside of the crenellations. The outside looks like it's got this lip-looking thing here. And you can see the workmanship of this. Looks really good. It's kind of shiny right now, but you know, once you prime it and then paint it and then dull coat it, everything's going to look good. And then this would be the inside of your wall. And these little areas here, and this little solid piece, I'm going to assume will fit nicely onto the top of one of the walls. When we get to the walls, we'll take a look at it. And you're going to get 2 pair on this, and then you're going to get 2 more pair on the other one. And then remember, these look like they go on the very bottom of your tower. and they look like they would go on the inside. Probably just as a steadying piece. And then the backside you would never see because they're going to be glued together. But you get the pin peg. Whoops, not that. This. Get the little peg there, and then it goes into the little hole there. And then, like I was saying, you got these little holes here that the side of the wall with the slots would fit together. So you got to make a perfect square. Okay. I like it. I like those tower pieces. Now, these frames, there's 4 of these. And if this is the top of your tower, you see how that has that little groove in it right there? That's where those crenellation pieces would just sit on top. Now, on the top one, you could probably glue it, because when you pick it up, you're just going to pick up the entire top piece. But that's where it would go. And then you'd have these stairs going down. Now, they don't go down very far. They go down just far enough to give you the illusion that there's stairs going down. And then you got the tile floor, and then the arrow slit wall. I don't know if I'm close enough to the camera so you can kind of see the workmanship. But it's a clean mold. There's not any mold lines or anything. When you cut them off the sprue, it's just like any other item you would cut off with sprue. You'll just clean off the edges with an X-Acto knife or something. And then these 2 walls look identical. And then here's that step that goes to the door. Okay, now you're going to get a few of these extra doors, right? Because if you only put one of these doors on the bottom of your tower, you're going to have 3 more doors that you're going to be able to put maybe on other buildings or some other construction you're making. You know, just save the doors. Or you can put a door on 2 sides. I wouldn't. And then this piece right here is the same on every frame. But if you notice along the spot there, you would cut 1, you would cut 2, and then you would leave the other one. So you would have 3 lengths of tile, and then you would just glue these tiles one on top of the other to make a 3-step step. And then on the very top one, you would glue the door to it because it's got those little pegs at the bottom of the door that would fit into your tile right there. Yeah, I think that's a pretty interesting way. Now remember that you're only going to be using 3 of these. I mean, so you're going to have 1 extra. You're going to have 1 extra step that you can put somewhere else on some other building that you might be constructing. Now let's look at the inside and why is it different. Okay, the inside of the door, plain. Why? Because you're just going to glue it up against the side of the building. So there's no need for it to have any kind of speciality. Same thing with the underside of your steps. But the inside of each of the walls needs to have some kind of detail, mainly because this is how they're going to be assembled and connect to each other. Let me flip this over a little bit. Yeah, these are going to connect to a floor, or I should say the top floor is probably going to connect to it. And the bottom floor, you're probably not going to connect it to anything. I'm not sure exactly which direction you're going to go, but if you don't glue it, then you should be able to separate them. Because remember that between each layer of flooring, between each layer of floor, you're gonna drop one of these floor tiles on, and the top side of the floor tile has a slot that you can fit the wall in with the solid piece right there. And then the top of the wall would fit with the bottom of the floor. And the bottom of the floor has got these little nubs, and then the top of these floors have these little slots. So you'd be able to make it very modular. You'd be able to stack on top of each other. Because the flooring alone will keep the tower square, and then each floor would just sit on top of each other. And each of the walls has a 45-degree bevel, so that this 45 will fit next to this 45, and they'll turn into a 90-degree angle. Yeah, this is a beautiful piece. I highly recommend it. This company, Tabletop Workshop. Yeah, this company, Tabletop Workshop. They are. You can visit their website right there, tabletopworkshop.co.uk. They have a. They're not a huge company, from what I can tell. They've probably got about 15 or 20 different products on their website, but they're under new management. Okay, after 10 years of being dormant, they're planning to bring out a lot of different releases, scenery, and they mention in my little note here, they mention that they're going to be releasing tanks as well. So I would keep your eyes to the ground. That doesn't make sense, but I'd keep your ears to the ground and your eyes to the website, and frequently go back there just to see what their new releases are. I don't know if they've got a newsletter you can subscribe to or what have you, but yeah, this company's got new life. It's got new management, so I think they're going to be expanding into new things. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming out and watching my what's in the box, which happens to be what's in the bag. I have a couple more of their items from Tabletop Workshop. I'll be doing additional what's in the boxes. Also, you can find these items on my eBay store. Eventually, they'll go on the eBay store, and also I might even paint them for you. I do commission work for people, so if you need me to assemble it for you and paint it, just let me know. I'd be glad to do that for you. Also, if you're curious about commissions, I should have a description, a link in the description that shows off all the prices and how to get in touch with me and all that. And I also have an X, so if you want to take a look at my X, you definitely can. And I don't post there very often. It's fairly but when I have a sale or something like that, I will put it up on my X. All right, guys, you guys take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.